Hello everyone, this is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. I'm just going to give it a few seconds for everyone to join me. I can see people starting to come on, and I'm also going to get my iPad going just so I'm ready when I swap over to where I want to be as I'm going live. So welcome everyone. This is my monthly workshop. This is the month of September's workshop. And I am doing a fall themed workshop this month using two of my favorite fall stamp sets. So these are the two you're going to see today, the Love of Leaves and the Life is Beautiful stamp sets. And just to give you an example, so here it is the beginning of September, and here in Maine, it was 40 degrees in the morning this week already. So fall is in the air here. So that's why I thought I'd do a fall themed workshop. And the leaves are starting to fall. The leaves are starting to change color. So this is all going to go well together as I show you some new projects today. I just wanted to say thanks to everybody that's ordered already. You guys are starting to get used to the way I do things when I post my host code early on. And I tell you, you can order before I even start the workshop. So thanks for those of you that have ordered already. I just saw Melissa's name come up as I'm watching my phone here. Melissa, you made me giggle so bad on your comment. She said she's all vacuumed. She vacuumed her rooms. She's got her fan on and her Pepsi and whoopie pie is ready for my show today. So thanks for the giggle. I thought that was cute. So as you know, I'm not a big chit chatter, so I'm just saying hi, and I'm going to turn my phone over and we're going to get going because I like to get things done. So good afternoon, everyone, and just give me a few seconds while I turn everything over. Okay, I'm just going to position my camera and then get my iPad in here so I can see you guys. Not everything fits on one holder, so I always have to do a little bit of finagling to get everything situated. Okay, here we go. So welcome. Now, if you've been following me the last couple months, you know that I like to show you guys either a technique or something cool to do with some of your tools. So that's how we're going to start out today. I'm going to show you something that I learned on one of our demonstrator Facebook pages that I thought was so cool. I want to show you guys how to do it too. So as usual, if you were to show up in my home for a workshop, I keep all of my projects in a shoebox. So everything is in there that I need. So I'm going to dig everything out for project number 1. And then when I'm done, I put everything back in the shoebox and dig the next one out. So for this project, I'm using the tailored tag punch. This is going to be the little hero for today's project. I'm going to show you a different way to use your tailored tag punch. And I know a lot of you guys have this punch. I'm using Granny Apple Green today, but the project that I did ahead of time uses Blackberry Bliss. So if you guys want to replicate this, you can decide which color you want to go with. But today I'm using Granny Apple Green. I'm using some rainbow glimmer paper. I've got our in color enamel dots. And I'm using just 1 sentiment today. It's Your Day from the Many Mates stamp set. And let me bring in what else I'm using. Whisper White. And this one measures 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. A scrap piece of Whisper White. And then my card base is Granny Apple Green, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I'm going to show you the cute card that I'm going to show you how to do. Again, I used Blackberry Bliss on the one that's already made, but I'm switching the colors around just to show you 2 different variations. So here's the card that I'm going to show you how to make. And notice that the tailored tag punch, look how long it is, but we're going to shorten it up to make these cute little hexagons. let me see, I need my paper trimmer, which is right here. Now what we're going to do, I have a little template here just to show you how we're going to cut. All you need to do is grab the white is going to be for the sentiment, and then we're going to cut the rainbow paper 1.5 inches wide. I'm going to flip it over onto the back side, and I'm going to measure over 3/4 of an inch. Just at the top and the bottom so I can connect the dots. And that's going to serve as my guide for my punch. So there's this one. And we're going to do the same thing with the white piece. So I love it when we have a tool and somebody comes up with a different idea to use it than what it's intended for. You just get more use out of it. So here's my little template. So now we're going to take the tailored tag punch. You're going to have the hole facing you so you can see what you're doing. We're going to go ahead and insert that inside, matching up the lines. So right at each corner. And there's your first piece. Now we're going to do the same with the rainbow. We're going to line up, whoops, I got a little piece in there. We're going to line up that line so that both corners are nice and even. I'm going to try to go down as far as I can so I don't waste any. And on this one, I used 5 of them. So let's see how many I can get out of it. I did actually have one left over from my previous one, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Now something really funny, oh, I need to flip it over. Something really cute that I noticed after I was doing all these, let me bring these in. Look at all my scraps. They look like little bow ties, so you could actually do something else with that. If you want to purposely do that, just leave a little space where the little V ended, so you'll have yourself a little bow tie. Okay, so now I've got 3 plus the white. Let me see if I can flip this over. Okay, I'm going to have to use my little trick. I'm going to add some adhesive just to make this longer to serve as a handle because there wasn't quite enough there for me to be able to use. I think I'm going to need to cut one more strip of the rainbow paper. Okay, there's 4 of these. This one is going to be almost a monochromatic card because I don't have any more of the sheet that had the pink and the bumblebee on it. So let me cut one more. This is actually all that I have left of my rainbow paper. So I just need to measure one more time. I would be anxious to hear what you guys brought with you for a snack and a drink. All I have is iced tea in case I get, in case my throat gets dry from talking so much. I just brought iced tea with me. I didn't bring a snack. Okay, so there's my 5 pieces. Let me get all of this away. So you can see now I have a whole bunch of bow ties I can do something else with. So this card is really easy and quick once you have your hexagons all cut out. I'm just going to glue my white in place on the front. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Granny Apple Green ink to stamp my sentiment on the white one. So you can see that I have more color on this one. This one is going to be more of a tri-color. It's got the green and the Coastal Cabana and the purple in it. So now I'm going to flip all of these over. And I'm going to add some dimensionals. I'm just going to add 2 on each one. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't have glued my white piece because I'm going to have to trim these. That's okay. I think I can still do it. I think I can. I think I can. So let's go ahead and start with the sentiment. I'm going to add that right here. Then I'm going to go ahead and add one right beside it and leave a 1/4 inch spacing. And now we're going to stagger them. I'm going to put this one in between. I got to look at my colors to make sure I don't put any that are side by side that are the same. Let's see, I'm going to have to actually because I only have the green. Let's see, I don't know if I want to do green up there or purple. You know what? I'm going to swap this around because I want this to be a different color. I'm actually going to go with, I'm going to put this one up top. I have the right to change my mind, right? Okay, that one goes up there. Let me take these off. And we're going to go with the green one because they're going to be far apart. So let's put that one there. And we've got one more at the bottom. And now let me see if I can trim this straight because I should not have glued my white piece down, but I think I can do it. I'm just following the edge. Okay, there's that one. I can actually feel the cardstock with my scissors. It's kind of directing me. Except this one has a dimensional that's going to be in the way. Okay, there's that. Now I'm going to bring in my little enamel dots. And let's see, I'm going to use this color. This color kind of matches. And I'm just going to add 5 of those. And my card will be complete. So there is card number 1. Sure, I'm sure you guys are going to like this one better because it has a lot more colors, but I kind of like the combination of these 3 colors too. Okay, so let me go ahead and set up for card number 2. I'm going to try to move some stuff over. I got a lot to take out on card number 2, as you can see. So this is the one I'm using, Love of Leaves stamp set. And this time I am also using our Wonder of the Season Memories and More cards and envelopes. Now these are beautiful. I hope I can capture the shimmer. These are like a gold shimmer color on the envelopes. And then each of the card bases also has the gold framing. So I'm going to need 3 of those. And 3 of the envelopes. I'm going to show you the projects in a minute. Let me just dig everything out. I am going to be using our new Stampin' cut and embossing machine also. Lots of products and lots of stamps on this one. Okay. So let me start out. I need to spread out a little bit. I don't have enough room to work here. So I'm going to be using the Banner's Pick-a Punch. For ink colors, I have Bumblebee, Pear Pizzazz, Calypso Coral, and Soft Suede, fall colors. I'm also going to be using the Seabed embossing folder. Let's see. Okay, these are just my card pieces. I just have to put them in order so I'm ready for you. I'm also using the Wonderful Gems. These come in like a red color, and these are like a variegated goldish tannish. They're really pretty. And let me bring out the cards so you can see. So what I'm doing this time with you, I'm doing 3 cards using everything you see here. I'm going to do a stepped up version. So I'm going to start out with a clean and simple card, flat, stamping only, and a little piece of cardstock. Card number 2 is going to get stepped up with a couple more layers, some bling, and some ribbon. And then card number 3 is going to be the wow card. I need to move this, it's glaring. This is going to be the wow card. Lots and lots of layers with some embossing in the background. So I'm going to start out with card number 1. There's the envelope. Now what's great about these cards, they're all pre-scored for you. So all you need to do is fold on the score line. Now let me see if I can dig out all of my ink pads. So again, I'm using the Love of Leaves stamp set with the coordinating stitched leaves dies. Okay, so let me dig out all of the ink pads. And I'm going to start out with my first packet, which all I'm adding is one piece of cardstock. And this is Sahara sand, and for all 3 cards, this measures 3 by 1. So I'm going to start out by stamping the sentiment with soft suede ink. And this one says, "I'm so glad you're in my life." So there's our little sentiment. Next, we're going to do the leaves in the background. So I'm going to start out with Pear Pizzazz. Now, what I did to start out, I knew I wanted to put this pretty much in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and ink the largest leaf. I'm just going to hold it right here and then remove it and stamp. Up above that is the smaller leaf. Same color with the Pear Pizzazz. So if you still want to use this as a guide, I put it back down. Stamp that one. And then I'm going to go over to Bumblebee ink to stamp the next largest leaf image. That's going to go about right there. And the last one is this leaf in Calypso Coral. So we're going to put one down here. And we're going to stamp one up here. And then all I have left to do on this card is to glue down the sentiment. And see this mess right here? We're going to cover that. And I'm going to put this even with where the stitching is showing. Okay, so there's card number 1. This is our clean and simple card. So now we're going to make it a little more complicated. Bring in card number 2. Let me go ahead and put the envelope away with this one. So again, we have an envelope. Fold on the score line. And we're actually going to do the same stamping you just saw. We're going to add this and the same sentiment, but then we're going to add this little cluster to add a little bit more extra to the card to make it a little bit more of a wow card. Pear Pizzazz again. And then the little stamp, the little leaf, I mean. So this is a good practice for you. You start out with your card, and before gluing everything down, you say to yourself, okay, what could I add to this to make it a little bit more elegant? So you're going to see we're doing the same exact stamping. Now I need to move everything over because I don't know if you noticed, I have some speckles in the background. I'm going to show you how to do that. I don't want to speckle everything that's within reach here, so I'm just moving everything over. This was my card number 2 packet. These are our new water painters. Now, I did a video on this, and I forgot to show you guys one step. How to fill these. I messed with this for forever until I figured out. I was trying to unscrew this, the way we normally do. You actually have to unscrew backwards to get this off. So just a tip on that, you have to unscrew backwards. It's really weird. Okay, now let me see. I didn't bring anything to put down. I'm going to have to wipe my counter when I'm done. So I'm using my Calypso Coral Ink. I'm going to squeeze in the center to get some of the ink in the lid. I'm actually going to use Let me see, I want the bigger one. So these come in the smaller tip, a larger brush tip, and then this cool flat tip that I really like. So I'm going to use the larger brush tip today. I'm going to add a couple drops of water. I'm going to do this. I'm going to use my finger, and all I'm going to do is tap. Can you guys see the splatters that I just did? See how simple that is? So you just get lots and lots of ink and just tap. Just make sure you don't have anything close by that you don't want to get that on. Okay, now, let me see. I need to keep this open. I just need to wipe off my counter. Normally I put a piece of paper towel on there. So let me bring this up now that you guys can see. See all the splatters? It really adds a nice effect to the background of your card. So now what we're going to do next is add the sentiment like we did on the first card using the soft suede ink right in the center. Oh, and something I forgot to mention too. At the end, or actually a couple days after my workshop, I'm going to pick a name for someone to win all of the cards that you see here today that I'm making. Okay, so this time I'm gluing the sentiment with Stampin' Dimensionals. So again, you have the same card as card number 1, but we've raised it, the sentiment, by using dimensionals. Now we're going to do this part. Let me grab a scrap piece. So you'll get to see me use our new Stampin' Cut and Embossing machine. Now for anyone that orders a machine through the month of September using my online store, I am going to gift you any embossing folder of your choice. I've already got quite a few of you guys that ordered the new machine. Okay, let me move this over so I can bring the machine in. If you haven't seen me use mine yet, I have attached my Allen wrench right to the top here with washi tape so that I know where it is if I need it. These open like so. And then our plates are numbered. So this is number 4, which is the plate that we use with our 3D embossing folder. So you'll see me use that on the next card. Our platform is number 1, which is for other embossing folders that are not as thick. Plate number 2 is used for die, so I'm going to use that one right now. And then we have our clear plates that are the number 3. So now, whoops, let me put one of these in. And let me dig out the dies that I need. So I'm going to need this one. And I am going to glue these in place with washi tape. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have ordered the machine. It's wonderful. It's easier to crank. It cuts very cleanly. I just love it. And I love that it's portable by folding it up too. Now let's go ahead and cut our leaves. And I'll dig that back out to show you how to do an embossing folder once I get to card number 3. Okay, regroup back to card number 2. So now what we're going to do is add dimensionals. I'm so anxious to show you guys the making takes that we're going to have this month. You guys are going to love them. Let me see. I'm going to go down just a tad. Boy, that one's long. I think, you know, you guys, I made these months ago. Now I remember that I cut the stem off. only because it's so long. Okay, I'm just layering all 3 leaves with dimensionals. And then I'm going to bring in the gold twine, and that's from the Wonder of the Season. It has 2 spools in it. I made a bow ahead of time, but who knows what I did with it. It's here somewhere in this mess. I just need to make another one. I like my loops very small. And I'm going to cut the ends off. And how I'm going to glue this down, because this is kind of a stiff twine, I'm going to roll up 2 glue dots. I'm going to put them side by side. I just rolled them up into something really small. And then I press that in place. And then lastly, for this card, we're going to add some of these embellishments. I like the size of these, and I like that they're quite almost flat. So they'll be good for mailing. Okay, so there's stepped up card number 2. And we've got one more to go in this series. And this is stepped up version number 3. So let me bring in what I need. Now I did go ahead and do the stamping and die cutting because you saw me do it in card number 2. But I'm going to show you the stitched ones. Okay, I need the banner punch. I need the card base. And the first thing I'm going to actually do is do the embossing with the seabed embossing folder. So let me go ahead. I shouldn't have taken all this stuff out, but that's okay. So we're going to use the embossing or the die cutting machine one more time. This time we're going to use plate number 4. So we're going to start out with the base number 1. And what I'm going to do is actually put the whole card front on the inside. And I'm going to make sure that it stops right at the score line. I don't want to do the back of the card. I just want to do the front. You guys, you should see how easy this goes. Now I'm going to make one more mess because I need to do the same splatter that we did on card number 2. And get some more ink in my lid. I'm going to bring in, is this the right one? Nope. I might have to use that one because who knows what I did with the other one. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. Okay, I don't see it. I chucked it over somewhere. Couple more drops of water. So I'm going to have to clean my counter off one more time. I should fold this over. Can you guys see the dots? Isn't that cool? I need to put more on the edge though because those are going to be covered. Oh, look at that. Oh, we're doing good this time. They're just everywhere. Okay. Look at that. And I've got quite a mess too. Note to self, always bring paper towels for my classes. I meant to do that earlier and I totally forgot. Okay, let's move on. Now, the only other thing I need to cut for this one, because I've already done my leaves, is the actual stitch dies. Now, if you look at this closely, look at the stitching on all of these leaves that are just the cardstock color. And let's see, I've got this one, and let me see what else. I think I've got 4 of them. Now, the way these work What did I do with my other dies? Oh no. I got them. They're still stuck to my cardstock. So the way these work, you got these that do the actual stitching, and then you also have to use these again to cut out the outside frame part. So I'll show you what I mean. So this time we need base plate 1, number 2 for the dies, a clear plate. I'm going to add my pieces of cardstock. So again, this is going to do the stitching on your leaves. So you also need to cut around the leaves, the framed area. So I'm going to do these 2 first. And I find that I try to get the evenly spaced around, but if it's not perfect, it doesn't really show up. As long as you're close. And look how pretty those are. They're such pretty leaves. Okay, now we just got 2 more to do. And I'm not using the Big Shot in my make and take projects. This is the last time I used the Big Shot. Oh, I just boo-booed. I said Big Shot. It's not a Big Shot. Stampin' Cut and Emboss Machine. So a lot of demonstrators have decided that that name is too long, and they're trying to name their machines. So what would you guys name your machines? We need to come up with a creative name. Now, if you actually do a really, really nice layer, a square, a rectangle layer, and you cut these out, these make a nice, let me show you the Paper Pizzazz one. Look at the stitching on the outside, so you could actually use these on your cards too. Okay, let's bring the cards back in. So this time, we have a lot of leaves to glue down. This is the longest project that I'm showing you today. Once we get this one done, we're going to keep rolling. Okay, so we're going to add dimensionals on the stamped leaves. And then I'm actually going to add glue to the stitched leaves. But I'm going to glue these down first, I think. Wait, no. I think I got to do one at a time. You guys, I made these cards 3 weeks ago, so I have to think. I have to think out loud. I know I did this one first. Let me move this over so you guys can see better. And then I added this one next. Then we're going to go with Calypso Coral. I don't think I've named the colors. So Pear Pizzazz, Calypso Coral, and Bumblebee. Let's see. This one's going to go about there. Actually, nope. I need to do this one first. This one and then this one. We're going to create a hot mess right in the middle, but we're going to cover that with the sentiment. That one. It's so much easier when you have a pattern to follow too. Oh, Joanne is saying somebody named their machine Clem. I've heard of some demonstrators calling theirs Boss. I'm just not sure what I want to name mine yet. Okay, look at that mess in the middle. Guess what? We're going to cover that. But first, I need to do my stamping. So soft suede. And then that's where I'm going to use the Banner's Pick a Punch, and I'm using the angled one. And because this is such a small piece of cardstock, I'm going to flip it over. See, it's not centered, so I'm going to make sure to move that over so it's centered. Right there. Now, when you measure for your sentiment like this, you're going to lose 1/4 of an inch if you cut both ends. So make sure you add 1/4 of an inch to your size. Okay, now, where's my adhesive? I'm just looking for my, oh, right here. I'm going to add a lot of adhesive only because I'm going to add some twine to the back. And the way I did that, I used all 4 fingers. And I'm going to wrap 4 times. That's it. And that's going to make my circle. I'm just going to smack that right on top of all that adhesive. And then I'm just going to pull on it to shape it. Look how easy that was. Except I need to center it a little more. So look how easy that was. And then I'm going to add some dimensionals. I'm going to do it on the card because I want to add it between the leaves. And then I'm going to press this in place. And my last thing on this card is my other spool of ribbon. Oh no, where is it? I am so organized, you guys, when I start stamping, and then I can't find anything. Oh, it's right here. It's right in front of me. Now, this is the, see, I can read French. Embroidered ribbon. I'm just going to cut a piece about 2 inches long. I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to angle the ends. And now what I'm going to do is bring in my glue dots. Oh, somebody named their machine Bertha. That's too funny. I'm going to add a glue dot right in the center. And then fold this down so it stays situated the way I want it. Now I'm going to add a glue dot on the end, and I'm going to tuck that underneath. So there you go. There's, oh, wait, we need some bling. We cannot forget the bling. I almost forgot a step. I'm going to add lots of bling in the background. So the bling I am using is actually my free gift that I'm giving today. Anybody that places a $50 order, you'll get a package of this bling to make your free card kits. So a $35 order will get you the card kits for the next projects I'm showing you. And there's card number 3. So let me bring them all back so you guys can see how we started with clean and simple, stepped it up once, and then stepped it up a 3rd time. Isn't that fun? I love doing stepped up cards. I do those quite often, actually. Okay, I need to regroup. Now I'm going to need Bumblebee for my next card. So let me put these aside. I need to stop and take a drink. Hold on. Okay. Oh, thanks for all the hearts, you guys. I'm glad you love the projects. I am using the Stamparatus today. Okay, so I'm going to be making 3 cards and a 3D project this time. These are my make and take. So for a $35 order, you guys will get all of the pieces to create these cards. And with a $50 order, you'll get the free package of the wonderful gems. Now, let me make some room. I don't have enough room here. I'm using almost all of the stamps in the stamp set. So here's my make and take project. This is a little box. with the little stamp set on the front. And on the inside, we have three 3x3 cards with the stamped envelopes. There's the 3 cards, and they fit nicely in this little package, and they would make a great gift. So this is going to be my make and take project. So we're going to start out by creating the cards, and the cards coordinate with our 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 Whisper White envelopes. So you'll get those in your package also. I'm using crumb cake, mint macaron, Cajun craze, and then the bumblebee for today's make and takes. I'm also using the 2 1/4 inch circle punch. I've already gone ahead and cut out 3 circles. I'm using the layering circles dies. This would be die number 3. So you've got 1, 2, number 3. And what I did with that is I cut out 3 of the soft suede cardstock. So everything has been pre-cut. And the stamp set I'm using today is Life is Beautiful. And as I've said, if I dig this out, I got 1 sentiment and the little dirt part that I'm not using today. But this is the stamp set to go with your make and takes. So I'm going to start out with the cards. Oh, and another thing, for those of you that do place orders and earn the free make and takes, I do send you the project sheets. It has the title page. It has all of the layers. Oh, I stapled this one upside down. And then it also has the products that I use. I did this 15 minutes before I went live, so that's why it's messed up. I'll have to fix that. So now what I did here to start out, so here are my 3 envelopes. I'm going to dig out all of my pieces. We're going to start out with the 3 Whisper White circles cut with the 2 1/4 inch circle punch. And what I did is I added my circle between this grid line and this grid line. I want to stamp all 3 circles the same. And then I positioned my tree image where I wanted it. So you can see here I've got it towards the left a little bit more. So I'm going to bring in, where is my soft suede? You know, I forget to mention I'm using soft suede ink also on these. So I'm going to ink up the stamp only on this side because I'm just using part of it. Okay, there's circle number 1. So we're going to do this 3 times. Circle number 2. And here's my 3rd one. And then I'm going to clean this off before I move on because I'm going to have to use this again for the box. So let me get another wipe. So this will have time to dry before it's time to use it again. And this just wipes right off. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside so it'll dry for when we get ready for the box. Now I'm going to bring in a little piece of scrap. And let's see if I can put the cards all out here so you guys can see them all. So the first one we're going to do is going to be using mint macaron ink. And we're using the little snowflake image. So we're just going to put snowflakes all over this tree. Okay, look how easy. And then we've got the hello. So there's our first circle already. Next, we're going to use the little leaf image with bumblebee ink. There's our leaves. Pretty quick. The sentiment is the thinking of you. You could do all the same, but I thought I'd add a thinking of you one in there. So there's our number 2. The third one is really cute. It's that little round splatter sort of image. And what I did with this one, I did a little differently. Oh, I just noticed I was a little too low on my camera there. I hope you guys were able to see that. Now this one I'm actually going to stamp, you know what, I thought I stamped twice, but the image actually does the light and dark for you. And then we need a chamois so I can clean my Hello stamp and do this one with crumb cake ink. So this is pretty quick. Now let's go ahead and bring in all of the card bases. And all of my little strips of designer paper are from the Gilded Autumn. They're 1.5 by 3. I lost my glue again. Oh my goodness. You know what I need? I need somebody to sit next to me so they can tell me where my stuff is. I can't find it. So we'll go to the liquid glue. It's here somewhere. What's funny is sometimes you guys can see where my stuff is and I don't even see it. Okay, this is card number 1. Card number 2. And card number 3. Now, a little tip. You can see some white here. Looks like I cut my paper just a little too short. So I'm just going to chop that off. Look, all fixed. Same thing on this one. That's how I fix my card bases when they're a little too short. All 3 of them. Okay, now let's fold. And then I've got little pieces of soft suede. These are 1/4 inch by 3. Maybe when I move my cards, I'll be able to find my adhesive. These are going to go right on top of the designer paper. I should have waited to trim my card bases, because now I have to trim my little pieces. These are too long. Just a smidgen. Now, lastly, we're going to add dimensionals. I can find those. They're right here. I'm just going to add 3 to each one, and I have glue all over my fingers. I can just feel it. You know what? I'm going to move my camera just a little bit so you guys can see more of my counter. It keeps cutting off here at the bottom. Okay, so these are glued on with dimensionals. Haha, Cookie wants to come be my assistant. You would have to help me to sell though so I can pay you. So I don't know how long I've been at this 3 cards, but I'm doing 3 cards at a time. I still haven't found my adhesive. I keep looking off to the side thinking it'll pop out at me, but it hasn't. Okay, this one goes on the crumb cake. I want to make sure the little hello is nice and straight. So there's number 1. Same thing, I'm watching my sentiment to make sure it's nice and straight. And all we have left to do on these is to add some of that pretty bling that you can earn for free. So we're going to add some amongst the stamping in the background. They're kind of subtle, but they're nice and sparkly and shining. They show up really nice, actually. Whoops, I need to grab one before I go here. Let's add a big one. So there's two, one more. I thought the red looked good against the mint on this one, so I opted to swap for the red. Okay, so there's the 3 cards, but now we have to coordinate the envelopes. So the easiest way to do that, I'm going to keep my scrap right here. I'm going to bring in another scrap and tuck it under the envelope. So let's go ahead and do the one with the snowflakes into mint macaron. So you're protecting your counter and you're also protecting your envelope. We're just going to fill that up. I love this image. It's so cute. Okay, look at that. Nice and neat. Someone's going to win this too. And let's see, now we need Bumblebee on this one. I'm going to flip it around. Let's see, I'm going to add just a little bit on the outside. Okay, there's flap number 2 that goes with this one. And our last one, I love this image. I love that it does the 2 shades all on its own. It's so neat. Cajun Craze. Look at that, the 2 shades. Amazing. And there's flap number 3. Okay. Now maybe I'll find my adhesive as oh yes, look, it was under my stamp set. I found it. Now we're going to go ahead and create the little box. And for those of you that are going to earn these kits from me, I give you the pattern and everything on how to do this. So very, very simple. Now we're going to start out with a piece of cardstock that measures 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to do some scoring. I'm going to do all the scoring for you on your kits also. We have 2 pieces of mint macaron for the handles, 8.5 by 1/2 inch. I'm going to put these right here so I can find them, see? Then we have a banner 4 inches by 1. 2 pieces of Whisper White, 3.5 by 3.25, and 3 by 2 3/4. So let's go ahead and do the scoring first. I'm going to bring in my score tool. Now on the 8.5 inch side, we're going to score at 3 3/4. And 4 3/4. Then we're going to turn this around to the 5.5 inch side, score at 1, and score at 4.5. That's it. Look how easy that was. Now I'm going to bring in my scissors. And these 2 score lines that you see in the center, we're going to cut up to the score line. So there's 1 and 2. And because this is a tab, you can see where I cut, I'm going to trim off at an angle just to make it easier for folding. So all I did, I'm going to lay it down so you can see, all I did was cut off 2 angled pieces. We're going to do the same thing on this side. And again, I'm going to do this all for you. So when you get this, all you have to do is glue it together. I'm going to spoil you that way. Now we're going to fold on all the score lines. This is such an easy project to do. And then you got the 2 in the middle. Now I'm going to bring in some tear and tape. And we're going to put 2 pieces. That's it. I'm going to burnish with my bone folder. And let me just take these off. I'm just going to do one side at a time. So now all we need to do is fold this in, put the one with the tape, I'm going to turn it this way, like so, and then we're going to put this one on top. There's side number 1. See how easy that was? Then we're going to do the same thing with side number 2. So put the tab in first, the piece with the adhesive, and there's your little box. How cute and how easy. Next, we're going to do the handles. So I'm going to add some liquid glue. You can use tear and tape if you want. I'm going to glue that about 1/4 inch from the edge. I'm just going to press on that for a little bit. Now I don't want this to look like this, okay? So I'm actually going to flip this. You're going to turn and flip it so that the handle is nice. If you don't flip it, it's going to look weird if you just go from one end to the other. So you need to flip it once. So again, turn and flip it. Press that in place about 1/4 inch from the edge. So look at that nicely shaped handle. Okay, now we're going to move over to the second one. You just have to remember to press on it for a little bit so it doesn't move on you. Now again, we're going to take this and we're going to flip it. So we need to add glue right here. So you're adding glue to the same side that you did on the first one. And you're going to flip it. Now what I think is really neat, once you have your 2 handles in place, hold on, I got to press this one a little bit longer. So they kind of fit on top of each other, so they kind of lock things in place. I like the way that looks. Next, we're going to add the larger piece of white to the front. And then we're going to bring the banner pick-a-punch back in. This time we're going to use the angled one. And again, I always flip it over just to make sure it's in the middle. We're going to do both ends. And that's going to be glued flat. And I only added adhesive in the middle because it's going to be sticking out a little bit longer than the box itself. So I didn't want any glue sticking out on the ends. So there's that. Now all we have left to do is the stamping. So let me bring the Stamparatus back in so we can do the tree. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to set this right here. I got 2 magnets stuck together. No wonder they're so thick. And then I want my tree to be off to the left again, about there. I'm going to pick it up. Ink with the soft suede ink. I love that you can position the stamp where you want it on the Stamparatus. That's why I opted to use that today. Now let me bring this back in, and we need the leaf image. We're actually going to stamp twice. We're going to use Bumblebee ink first. And then I'm going to use Cajun Craze, but I didn't want it to be too dark. So I'm going to stamp on scrap first. I didn't want it this dark. And that creates a little bit of a lighter effect on your leaves. Next is the cute little birdhouse with the mint macaron. And I need to clean my hello. We're almost done, guys. We're on the home stretch. And with Bumblebee ink, we're going to add the hello. And lastly is the dimensionals, and then all we have left to do is to add the bling, and we're done. Now there is a special going on this month with Stamping Up. Anybody that joins the Stamping Up family, I'm going to talk about that a little bit after I'm done here because it's such a great deal. And I would love to have you guys on my team. Now I'm going to use the red ones. So the deal is that you can get over $210 worth of products for $99. That is a great deal. Okay, so there's my little treat box or gift card holder. And let me put all of the cards back in here. Let me see if I can spread everything out so I can bring everything that I made today. And one lucky winner, I'm going to have a survey you guys need to fill out. And I'm going to pick a winner from the survey. Okay, these were my Step It Up cards. So we've got one. I'm not going to fit everything in here. There's no way. 2 and 3. And then we had these 2 cards from my first projects. So quickly, I just want to go over the special. You get $125 worth of products, free shipping, free 16 card kits, Queen Anne's lace stamp set, So Much Love stamp set, basic rhinestone jewels, a free paper pumpkin kit, and that's $210 for $99. So if you're interested in joining my team, let me know and I'll send you the link to do that. And let's see, I don't know what else I have to tell you. I think that's it. So give me a couple minutes after I get done the video. I'm going to post project pictures and I'm going to post the survey so you guys can sign up to win all of the cards that you see here today. And next month we're going to be doing Christmas projects. So make sure you join me, and I'm so glad you stopped in today. Have a good remainder of the week, everyone. Bye-bye.